Jean-Louis?
Hi. Well, I'm Jean-Louis. I've been in London now well over 20 years. I've been involved in sake for nearly, well, almost as long as I've been in London. So as a sommelier, I was the head wine and sake sommelier for famous Japanese restaurants for like 10 years straight, and was also involved opening my own company to import wines and distribute sake. So I've got all this mixed background also with retail and restaurants, and just basically love chasing and finding great products. Also involved with sake competitions, with the London Sake Challenge, where I'm a co-chairman, where I was last year. And hopefully this year we won't be able because of the conditions, but hopefully we'll do a big one next year, since everything Japan related, like the Olympics and so on, everything is now postponed for next year. So hopefully we'll have a lot of celebration for the sake world as well next year. And that's it. Yeah, so basically I just keep chasing for great products and finding clients, which will be difficult at the moment. But we have online sales, so we always have a plan B.
Perfect.
And people obviously go for that.
Jean-Louis' information, and so is everyone else's, is right on the website where you found this link. So if there's sales or hiring for education, please go straight to the website. So Jean-Louis, we're on to you.
Okay, well, basically that's the modern Isake Classic. So that was made actually in its first version, actually back in 2006, when branding sake was not heard of, when breweries were just doing their sake in their corner and not thinking even of exporting and so on. So at the time, when Isake company wanted to introduce sake to more people, to wine lovers especially, the idea was to make sake, which is first of all lower in alcohol, but similar to wine. So that's about 14.7 alcohol. So that means in terms of palate, it's not so heavy, it's quite delicate, and it can go with all sorts of cuisine. So the focus was to go out of the Japanese restaurants, which again, even now, sake is mostly consumed in Japanese restaurants. But the idea, and we're already back in 2006, going to Eastern Blumenthal at the Fat Duck, introducing sake with Italian restaurants. Obviously, we all heard about umami, which is also applied to wine. So any pairing with tomato, with parmesan, with ham, anything cured and rich in flavor, where sake naturally is higher umami content, basically amino acid. So there is a lot more amino acid in sake than in wine, about 5 times more. And that's created this synergy of flavor. So when working with the chef and me working with restaurants and in restaurants, sake always been the secret weapon, how to convert people who don't know about sake to start knowing and enjoying sake. So you need to have sake which is not so strong. So 14.5, you go to Australia, you have a lot of Chardonnay for 15 California mints, which are way above the 15%. So we are really on this similar balance of, okay, it's rich, but it's not so rich that you cannot experiment and develop flavor. Coming back to the product and the producer, because producer is very important. It's made by a Tetsumanke brewery, which is a fairly well-known large-scale brewery, but it's actually one of the oldest in Japan and been around since 1662. This is the third version of the Isake Classic. The first one was just like a plain entry level, and then he moved to Shibori Tate. So Shibori Tate is like a Beaujolais Nouveau, if you prefer, for sake, very
what
fresh. What
prefecture is it, Jean-Louis?
Shibori Tate.
Oh no, what prefecture is the brewery at?
Oh, Nada, Yogo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and basically they use a Miyamizu. So Miyamizu for sake lover is like the sangral of water, because the quality of the water in Japan is very important. And sake, obviously, you cannot make a good sake if you haven't got a good spring. If you make whiskey, you will need a good source of water. And obviously, it's a fermented drink, but water is so important. And Miyamizu back in the medieval Japan in 16th century. That was really the #1 source of spring water, which was making the best sake for the imperial court back in the time. So this sake is made using this spring water, Miyamizu, and it's a blend. Usually sake is usually, we haven't talked too much about the rice, but rice and grapes is something which is good to relate to each other. Obviously, it's two different species, but in the way that there is some species of rice, like Yamane Nishiki, which is the most well-known rice for sake, and that people will always compare to Chardonnay, in the sense that you can express very concentrated, very rich, complex sake. This one is made, it's a blend actually of 3 different rices, but the main dominant is Goyaku Mangoku, which is one of the oldest rice variety in Japan, and which makes some very elegant, very well-rounded, but very refined, very pure, not so bold type of sake. Taste-wise, well, I said it's a sake which is designed to go not just with Japanese food, but also with all sorts of cuisine. And as much as you can have it as an aperitif or through the meal or an after dinner, it's very versatile and it's great. You can serve it 3 ways, because obviously a wine, you will drink it, if it's white wine, it will be cold and acid. But with sake, if it got the right balance between all the different elements, you can enjoy it chilled. If it's like summer, we enjoy nice cold sake. But if it can be the winter, so this one can be warmed up gently. So it would just bring on the more savory notes and nutty side, and also room temperature. Versatility is very important, because if it's in this sake, can when we go to the top sake, Dagenjo is like the Grand Cru of sake. So this, okay, you need to respect it even more, and you don't want warming up. Sorry, I was seeing unstable connection, but I think it's okay now. Just a small tremor.
Any, yeah, now that you're taking a sip, let us know any tasting notes. I know you just made the reference to rice and Chardonnay. The rice that's your sake is related to, but
Goyaku Mangoku. But actually, for me, I've got something which is a lot more like a Chenin Blanc, actually, but not from South Africa, more like a Loire Chenin Blanc, because I got this beautiful, very ripe. It's not mango, but it's more like a quench. Actually, in the background, I've got a little bit of rose petal. It's very delicate, and it's got a very strong mineral feel, but very dry, very clean, very crisp finish at the same time. But you feel the structure, so it's quite savory, and you just carry on. And when you swallow, it just like goes on and on. It's like medium persistence, but it finishes very.
How many
clean.
sakes are they making for you? Or how many different SKUs you have?
Oh, basically each batch is about 1,200 bottles, and they make about 5 batch a year.
But only one style, one bottle.
Only one style, yeah. So it's
awesome.
One special tank which was selected by a couple of sommelier and a Japanese sake expert, and with the toji, which obviously the toji is like the head, the winemaker. So if you hear the word toji, when we talk about sake, the toji is a reference actually to the person in charge of the winemaking or the sake making. So in this case, that's Mr. Iki back in 2007, who was involved with working with the different rices and the taste, and going back and forth with different samples until we find the style which would please wine drinkers. That's the idea.
What's your favorite non-Japanese food with this sake?
I have quite a lot of options. Also, obviously, being from the south of France and not so far from the coast, I love my seafood. So oysters, for me, always works perfectly, because you don't want something too heavy. So balance a little bit on the sea breeze side. We have a lot of beautiful prawns. So any prawn dishes, very simply grilled, those kind of things. I will lean more on the seafood, but also have it quite often with chicken. So again, lightly seasoned, nothing even, because for example, when it comes to salad, wine can be sometimes difficult to pair with dressing, but sake actually got the right level of acidity that it doesn't contrast, it doesn't shock. So if you have chicken Caesar salad, for example, which a great classic, which you go to every restaurant in the world and it will have a version or two of or their own version. And I like the chicken Caesar salad because you have Parmesan, which when we talk about umami, Parmesan is one of those very umami rich food. So you have the chicken, you have the crunch of the salad, the dressing, you use premium olive oil. After you can make all sorts of versions. But good sake, which come with the crunch of the salad and tenderness of the chicken, you have the umami from the Parmesan, and that's all kind of combined together, makes a beautiful match. And it's very unusual because wines can be difficult with dressing. In fact, in the restaurants, we will recommend, okay, you have your salad, maybe you have a citrus cocktail or whatever, margarita even, but then keep the wine for the next course. But with sake, that's what I like working with sake, because you can have it as an aperitif. You can also make some innovative cocktail, why not? You have it with a starter, main course, desserts. You can carry on, so you don't need to go too far. As long as there is enough sake on the list, there is enough to play with.
Jean-Louis?
Are great things, and it can only help at least to maintain the awareness and sustain the curiosity. And so when things can resume to normal, I think it will help actually to get the ship going, because of the online community and okay, looking people drinking.
Beverage tasting virtual event, I wanted to make sure we send some love to Japan. So please support Japan, continue to drink sake and learn about it. And thank you all for being on.
Pleasure.
Cheers.